looks like. Okay, anxious, what it looks like. Okay. All right, so performance-based love from a parent. Okay, number one. Performance-based parent from a parent looks like you got an A, and they tell you, "I'm so proud of you. Come here." They give you a hug. And then another situation could be you got a C, and they're like, "I don't want to even talk to you right now." So you see the shift. At one point, they were like, you got an A, I'm so proud of you. And then they're like, come here. But then you got a C, and they're like, you know what? Don't talk to me right now. That's the unpredictability. And that is a conditional love of the parent, okay? Where they praise only your grades, your trophies, your manners. And that, for the child, they learn that I am lovable when I'm impressive. I'm unworthy when I'm average or flawed. If you got a perfectionist spirit, this is for you. Listen again. If you've got a perfectionist spirit, it's for you. The child learns I'm lovable when I'm impressive. When I'm winning, when I'm on top, that's when I will get love. But I'm unworthy when I'm average or flawed. So when you are looking at your work that you're doing and you keep on scrunching it up like I do sometimes, you throw it away, you start again, 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 and you start again because you feel like it's not perfect, it's not right just yet, and I can't put that out. And really and truly, you're afraid that you will not be considered worthy, you'll be considered incompetent, you'll be considered average, you'll be considered not good, and so you're afraid of that feeling, and so you actually learn that unworthiness comes when you're average, rather than looking at it as everybody's average, first and foremost. But you should be loved because of who you are, and that should be the case. But a lot of people are born in households where they're performance based. Okay, all right. So very important. Number two. Emotional compliance love. So if you grew up in a household where you saw this, where the child might have been happy, they'll tell you, listen, you're my sunshine, I love you so much, you're so an amazing kid, this is my son and my daughter who I'm well and truly pleased with, because you're showing positive actions to your emotions. But emotional compliance looks like this. When the child is angry, sad, grieving, any kind of quote-unquote negative emotion, they're telling you, go to your room, you can't act right, I don't want to see you like this. So any kind of the negative emotions, they kind of almost like dismiss you. But any of the positive emotions, they're like, come on, that's my child, look at how happy they are, look how amazing they are, look how wonderful they are, I love you, But they push you away when you have negative feelings. Big. Okay, so what that does is that the child learns that the only emotions that are acceptable are when they're easy and they are happy and calm. Okay, all right, and what they realize is shame, embarrassment, and guilt and punishment comes when they are sad, angry, or overwhelmed. And this is why when somebody is an anxious person and they see someone else being angry, sad, grieving, they can sometimes get a little bit startled because they're not sure how to handle it. They may cling just out of the fact that, okay, I'm not sure, does that mean they're going to leave me? Are they going to abandon me? Or they may find themselves in a space where actually, that they over-identify with the emotions. They now take your emotions as theirs. So you're sad, you're angry. Now they're sad, they're angry. Right? Because what they really are trying to do is what their parents could not do. Let's talk about that. Okay? Let's talk about that. Okay? Let me talk about it. Yeah, over-identify. Let me write that down. Over-identify. Okay. All right. Over-identify. Over-identify. Okay. So when there are negative emotions, like there are tears, there are sadness, there's anger, there's frustration, there's grief, there's disappointment, you start to over-identify with those emotions. The negative ones. Why? Because you're trying to show that you have a level of empathy for them. But really and truly, what's actually happening is you are over-identifying and then you're taking their emotions as yours. Again, I'm an empath. That's why. No, most of you are not. Most of you are not. You're hypervigilant, and then also you are emotionally compliant. You take on other people's emotion because really and truly what you're trying to do is you're trying to change your history. You're trying to do something different, what never happened to you. You didn't get validated in your emotions when they were negative. You were praised for your positive ones, but your negative emotions you weren't praised for. So guess what happens now? You meet your friend and you mirror their emotions, but really and truly, yes, you might be supporting them, but actually what you're doing is you're trying to give them what you never had. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but what ends up happening is you over-identify to a point you self-abandon. That's the issue. The issue isn't that you actually start to identify. You over-identify by self-abandoning. So if they are angry, you're angry with them, but now you're forgetting how you actually feel about what you felt about. So they're angry and now you're angry, and now whatever emotion you had, whatever feelings you had have now gone. Whatever needs you have now gone, because all you think about is now what they are feeling. And that's a problem. And guess who pays for that? Your partner or your friends or your family. Why? Because eventually it builds up and you're like, no one ever cares about me. No one thinks about me. No one thinks about my emotions. Nobody thinks about what I go through. And it's because you denied all your emotions by over-identifying with mine. Right? You denied your own emotions by over-identifying with mine. And now you expect me to do what you do. And I can't do that. I can't be codependent. Right? I can't be codependent as you are, where you want to live in my skin and take on my issues as your own. No. Okay? So you gotta pay attention to that, because that's how especially women fall into relationship issues where they're like, that man, you can tell by the way he's telling his story. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe he's just telling me all this stuff. Like, he just trusts me. I really understand where he's coming from. Like, he's going through so much pain and and you're over-identifying to a point where you forgot your own boundaries. The guy's a bastard. He's a idiot. He's a player. He's a dickhead. He's a Bob. Now you become the Bob the Builder. Because now you're saying, you know what? I'm just holding space for him. Because I can feel his heart. I can feel your heart crying out for me. You start to. I need to hold space for him. He needs to know that somebody understands him. And really and truly, all that's happening is you're seeing yourself in him. Nobody understood you, and so you're trying to understand him. But by you understanding him, you at the same time you are now forgetting your own needs. I can feel your heart crying out for me. Okay. Let's get to 20k likes, guys. Let's get to 20k likes. Get me to 20k likes, please. Let's get to 20k likes. Get me to 20k likes and help me out, okay? Help me out. Okay? Help me out. Get me to 20k likes so I know that I'm not talking to myself and I'm not talking nonsense. You get what I'm saying to you? All right, now let's get to this one. Okay? Good, bad behavior. Okay? All right? Good behavior means worthiness. Bad behavior means rejection. Okay? Good behavior means worthiness. Bad behavior means rejection. Okay? Let's get into this. Okay, so what does it look like? It looks like this. You're such a good boy today. You deserve a hug. Now, listen to this. The wording is really important. You are such a good boy today. You deserve a hug. The child melts down later on, has an issue. Maybe they got frustrated about something. And the parent responds, I don't even want to deal with you. Get out my face. Now, very similar to the one I just said about over-identifying. Okay, very similar again, but here the whole point is, what do you deserve? Right? The child is learning that they don't deserve anything good unless they are good, which is breeding this good behavior means worthiness, bad behavior means rejection, which is why anxious people can't be are struggling to be bad. When I say bad, what I mean by that is they struggle to really take accountability. No offense to me, some of you don't take accountability. To be honest with you, some of you know you can't take accountability. Let's be honest. Some of you know, and I'm not lying. Because taking accountability, and that's why a lot of women are anxious, right? We talk about women not taking accountability. I'm not saying everyone can't take accountability. I'm just being very clear as a general consensus. What we talk about why you can't take accountability is because, first and foremost, what it means. Good behavior is worthy. Bad behavior is rejection. So if they take accountability, it means they're bad. And that would mean rejection. But that's not the truth. But that's what they've learned. So they've learned, oh, being good, I get rewarded. I get praised. But the moment I'm being told that this is bad, now I realize that I'm about to be abandoned or rejected. So I have to have a self-defense mechanism that does avoid any accountability or me being bad. So what do? You end up becoming a chameleon. You're always nice. You're always friendly. You're always smiling. You're always buying the donuts for work. Right? Going a long way round for work just to get the donuts when you know it's a long way round. It's costing you time. You've always got the hot chocolate for the rest of the crew, but have they bought you one yet? Right? You've done 20 years on a job and not one person from the CEO has praised you, but you've been putting extra hours in every day. You're there late from beginning to the end. Why? Because you don't want to ever be spoken of as being bad. But you're a chameleon. You're people pleasing. Because you're afraid that if they speak bad about you, that would mean rejection. But let me tell you this now. People speak bad about you whether you like it or not. You have to accept that. Okay? They're going to speak bad on you whether you're good or bad. You can be good. Jesus was perfect and still they spoke bad about him. They spoke the wickedest. They even lied upon his name. So what's to stop you from being spoken bad about? Right? When you're anxious, your thought process is good is worthy, bad is rejection. And I want you to understand, bad is not rejection. Now, some people might reject you. They needed to go. Okay? They needed to go. Okay? So understand that again, what we must place ourselves into is understanding that you don't have to earn love. Love is not earned, okay? We don't have to earn love. It's not something I'm given it's not because I'm given it because I performed. I was good. Oh, they're going to give me love. They're going to give me this affection that I want because I performed. Oh, I cooked dinner last night. I cooked dinner this week. And finally, they'll see me for who I am. I bought all the donuts at work. Finally, they'll see me for who I am. Oh, yes, I picked up the kids and, and I did all of these things. And do you know what the crazy thing about anxious people is? Is that they do things for you. And as King K said, they self-abandon, which means they release themselves of their own needs. And then they get angry when you don't see the effort they put into it. Anxious people do a lot of work behind the scenes. And they do so much without even being asked. And then when people then don't see the effort they put in, they get angry, they get hurt, they get frustrated, but then they can't even be fully frustrated because if they get angry and get frustrated, then they would have to show their true colors, which will lead them back to here again, which will make them feel like they're going to get rejected. So guess what? They're now imprisoned within themselves. They're now building resentment and bitterness within themselves because they feel imprisoned by their own perfectionist imagery they've built up for everybody else. In order for them to receive the validation and the liking that they have so they won't receive rejection. You are imprisoned by the prison that you placed yourself in. You have the key already. You have the key already. Yeah. Stop thinking everybody thinks like you. Not everybody is reading minds. Not everybody is anticipating. Like, you want people to anticipate people's needs like you do. And they can't. They actually can't. Why? Because they're not being hypervigilant like you are. Right? You're being hypervigilant and you are literally you're watching every little movement. Let me give you another example. Ladies, this is for you. This is for you ladies, you know what I'm saying to you? Because women do this a lot with men, okay? All right? Women do this a lot with men, okay? They'll be like, I pay attention to everything. You know? And they mean everything. Okay? They mean everything. They pay attention to everything. Okay? And then the man can't compete. Right? So he misses something, and she's like, "Oh, you don't care about me." Damn. He ain't got nowhere to go. Why? Because she places an expectation of her hypervigilance on him. She projects that everybody should react the exact same way by overpaying attention to situations. He should do the exact same thing. And when he doesn't do it, you hold him to that standard and then you nail him to the cross. And really your frustration isn't with him, it is with what he represents. His inability to get it right is your parents and your caregivers' inability to get you right. His inability to miss something is the same feeling you get from when your parents didn't do the exact same thing. And now he is doing what your parents did, and that's annoying, that's frustrating. Because you picked somebody not to do what your parents did. And that hurts. That hurts. But it's a silent effort you're putting in. People don't often see what you're doing because you do it silently. I know you guys are listening to me and you know what I'm talking about. You do it silently. There's so much work that you do in people's lives that they don't even know you're doing. Like, if you stop doing it, they would collapse. But while that sounds amazing and sounds so noble and sounds so, modest, really and truly, what you're doing, okay, right, is you're going unaccounted for. So now you are hoping for somebody to see you. You actually are hoping for someone to see you. And guess what's going to happen? They ain't going to see you. And then you're going to get angry and hurt and bitter. Why? I don't want to make noise. I'm doing it at the greater than my heart. I don't want to rock the boat. I thought like, I see an issue. I thought I should do it, but really and truly, you're doing it silently. Okay. All right. Remember, love is not earned. Okay. It's not earned. Okay. It's given, but it's not necessarily earned. All right. Number 4, a busy but loving parent. Okay. Busy but loving. Okay. Busy but loving parent. We've all been here. Okay. Busy but loving parent. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Such a J.